We have been getting more and more questions from customers regarding the different types of nail guns that you can get. So let's spend a little bit of time looking through our latest range of nail guns and staple guns so you know what's available and on the market. Now, going back through the years, you'd of course know about first fix framing nail guns and second fix finishing nail guns, but there are more variations out now. Some are generic and some are for very specific jobs. Let's start with the basics. First fix. Now, these are also known as framing nailers. The most common applications for these would be, timber framing assembly work, such as constructing timber stud walls, roofing, building decking bases, or fencing. It is the rough and tough end of the nail gun world. These nailers can be heavy and they need to be able to pack a punch in order to fire large nails into tougher timber. And with these nails, don't expect to be leaving a discreet mark after firing them. You will know full well where this nailer has been. Common nail sizes tend to range from around 50mm up to as much as 100mm, with some models and diameters tend to be in around 2.8 to 3.1mm. Now, on to positive placement. A positive placement nail gun is basically a framing nail gun, which is, the same as before. However, these are very specialist guns. These are designed to fire your nail exactly where you are aiming with incredible accuracy. And don't get me wrong, most first fix nail guns are going to be firing, where you're pointing it. But when you need that extra level of accuracy, because you're fixing the likes of joist handers, connector plates, truss clips, and things like that, then a positive placement nailer will be exactly what you want to use. Get that nail in exactly where you intend it. Now, we're still in the first fix world. We're going to be looking at another specialist gun, which is the coil gun. This is designed to carry loads of nails in the magazine, up to around 200, which saves you having to climb up and down ladders to fill up with more nails. These fire specialist nails are designed for fixed roofing felt and other sheet material. They're more commonly used nowadays for fixing cement fiberboard. Now, the last of our first fix guns is the concrete nailer, and first of all, we're not giving out any prizes, for anyone that can guess what you'd use one of these for. Now, this is for tasks like setting metal stud wall frames to concrete or hanging electrical trucking from precast concrete. When you're looking at old school models, these may be referred to as PAT guns, which stands for powder actuated tools, because they use explosive cartridges. However, like all guns now, you can use standard gas or even battery powered versions. Now, let's talk about second fix or finishing nailers. Unlike framing nailers, these are used more in situations where the nails will be seen, therefore they need to be smaller and neater. The brad nailer is the most common tool you'll see in this video. Brad nails have a small head and often a serrated shank. Brads leave a very small hole in the material, which is easy to fill, for a good finish. You typically use these to attach skirting board, door trims and frames, and furniture assembly. You can get both straight and angled versions, and there are benefits to each. Straight brad nailers accept more lengths of nailed, angle guns accept fewer nails, but gives the user the ability to work into tight corners and places that are a bit more awkward to work in. Now, moving on to pin guns. These are even smaller and lighter than brad nailers. These pins are headless with very small gauge nails, which have nothing like the same holding power as a brad, but will do a job and will hardly leave a hole, which is why some people call them headless pinners. Pins often range from 10 to 50mm and most commonly around 23 gauge. This tool is mainly used for fine finishing, like furniture making, decorating, moulding, picture frames, and fastening delicate materials like veneer or trim onto furniture. You'd often use a pin gun at the same time as an adhesive because the two work together. Now on to cable staplers. This is a specialist stapler designed to help speed up the process of running and fixing cables. Now, these staples are mainly used to fix in twin and earth cables to timber joists in first fix applications. This is a massive time saver compared to banging in cable clips by hand. It's also much easier to fire a staple or two when you're on top of a ladder rather than just swinging your hammer around like a maniac. The staples that these use are typically insulated crown staples, which are pre-fitted with an insulated piece along the crown. As you'd imagine, this helps prevent metal contact with the cable, ensuring a fast but also safe installation. Now, moving on to one of the biggest of the bunch. This is a fencing stapler. As the name suggests, these are staplers designed specifically for the installation of wire fencing. For those that have seen Clarkson's Farm, you'll know how much fun that can be.
Oh, f***ing hell!
These staplers offer massive time saving over doing the job by hand and offer a much more solid and reliable fixing too. These fire heavy duty staples for around 40 to 50 mil and will generally be hot dipped galvanized to protect them from rust and corrosion. Sometimes these fixings might be barbed too, which helps even more to increase their holding power. Now, from one of the biggest to one of the smallest, this is just a standard stapler. Now, these are commonly used, if you're in the trade or into your DIY. If you're looking for a light duty standard staple gun, then we do have a few available at ITS, and there are these often use staples between 6 to 22 mil. But we can go even smaller with the powered hammer. Now, this isn't strictly a nail gun or a staple gun. These are definitely worth a shout out. Brands have started producing a powered cordless hammer, which is making the job of normally hammering in nails a thing of the past, because simply place one of these over the top of your fixing, hit the trigger and watch it do its thing. They're small, compact, and can be used in tight corners and other locations where you struggle to swing a hammer. It might seem like a novelty to begin with, but these things are really impressive and can make your job as fast as ever. So there we have it. Hopefully this gives you a bit of an idea on what is out there and available these days. If you'd like to see even more in-depth info on this, then you can check out our hub article in the description below. Finding the right fixings for these guns as well is a pain, which is why I urge you to try out our brand new fixings finder over at its.co.uk. Just select the gun that you've got and you'll be able to see every fixing that we stock that is compatible with that gun.